Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I have tonic water with a bit more of a splash cranberry raspberry juice. Okay, this is so tasty.
Yummy.
Plus, it's pretty.
It is very
But
pretty.
you know how I love gin and tonic? Like, that's my go-to is gin and tonic. Well, it's like the tonic flavor, that bitterness.
Yeah.
So good.
I've actually got some peach water.
Oh, nice.
So
In
nice and
fancy glass.
refreshing in my little
Mhm.
cute glass.
I love it.
So very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have almost made it through Mercury.
No,
And
today's the last day.
today is the last day. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm telling you, the last week has been magical.
really.
I mean, I've seen breakthroughs with patients.
Yeah.
I
Me
have,
too.
yeah. And isn't
Cool.
Mercury about learning things? Isn't it about, and there's something in there about lessons?
That's how I take it. It's
Yeah.
like, communication and learning. But this full moon from
Mhm.
last night was the pink full moon.
Oh, I
And
didn't even know there was a full moon last night.
and it is all about like transformation and like really like coming into your own and learning lessons, but also the solar eclipse that was a couple of weeks ago or a
Yeah.
week ago or whenever it was, that's the big clincher of lessons and like transformation and moving forward and stepping
Mhm.
onto your soul's path.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
that's what's been going on.
Maybe because it has been slowly over the past month. It started when we were talking about the fear of judgment. One of us said, let's do a hypnosis on
Yeah.
that. I probably listened to it twice a week for the last, what, 3, 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few opportunities where people would ask me a question that I had the thought of, should I be honest with them? Or do I
Mm.
need to be who they want me to be? And it was like, no,
Interesting.
you got to, they asked you this specific question
I love
and
it.
you have to show up as you. And so I did, and no one died, and no one even
That's
fired
always a
me.
bonus. Yeah.
But that's what I thought this whole thing was. I thought me listening to this was going to just make me either not care about the judgment or make it stop, or I didn't know what
Yeah.
it was going to do, but I knew it was going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Something happened very unexpected. So last Friday, I was doing volunteer work with the Library Foundation. We had some fundraisers for the new library that's coming, and so it was an all-day event. It was a breakfast, lunch, tailgate, hockey game event that I
Cool.
was at. What I noticed, and it was not just then, it was Friday that it all kind of came into focus. But I noticed how much I judge.
Oh, shh. Don't tell anyone.
I know this is the one where Leigh is going to be a big asshole. Oh my gosh. I would have a thought about a person, make judgments about the person, maybe even say something to my neighbor, my friend working in the booth with me about the person. And then I would go, you're so judging them. And like, for example, we had a guy that comes up at the foundation and he is demanding a free room in our new library for his group of young men that he works with. And
Okay.
he expects a free room
Oh,
because he is a nonprofit and he shouldn't have to pay. Then I put him in touch with someone that can help him because I'm seeing it build in him. He's getting more angry and it's getting bigger and bigger. And when she's like, well, we've got small rooms that you can rent for free, but that's only for about 6 people. He goes, well, I have 15. And she goes, well, then we have some that you can rent. I'm not paying. I'm not paying. Who do I need to protest to? Do I need to go down to City Hall? Like, what do I need to do? Because I'm ready to fight.
Gosh, it's ridiculous.
So I'm sitting there watching this guy, and we have people that are on the city council that I'm going, hide your name tag. You don't want this guy to see
Yeah.
you right now.
Yeah.
He is lit up.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there going, I was judging him. I was judging the clothes he was wearing because Sandra, I mean, he was dressed kind of
Okay.
peculiarly. He is dressed in a way that makes you look at him like, is he
Right.
8? He's yelling. He wants something for free.
Mhm.
He's eating our food. And then to top it off, he doesn't even leave a donation in the donation box.
It's hard not to judge that though, right? Like it's
But
hard.
it was that kind of stuff. And I noticed myself throughout the day having these judgments and thinking about them and how automatic they were and unconscious they were. It was just judgment. And I went, oh, it's not them. It's me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I worked with a psychologist, and I made a comment one day about how I hate judgment. I like how I didn't want to be judged by other people. And I just
Mhm.
felt like people that were judgy were, I don't know, like not kind people, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're
And then he
awful.
says to me, I know. And then he says to me, you want to know why you do that? Why that bothers you? And I'm thinking he's going to come up with, you're a child of an alcoholic, you're like,
Let me give you a pass.
and he goes, it's because you judge other people. And he runs away. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you fucker. But it's true.
Oh my
We
God.
do tend to not like in other people what we actually do ourselves,
Mhm.
what we don't like in ourselves, but we don't
Yeah.
always see it.
Yeah. And
You don't want to look at it.
I'll even take it a step further to say, perhaps I'm not even being judged by them. Perhaps it is my own judgment that
Mhm.
is in my head going, well, of course they're going to think this. And of course they're going to think this. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking because a lot of
Yeah.
this judgment, they don't say to me,
It's assumption, not fact. Yeah.
complete assumption, but it blew my mind
This is brilliant.
because, yeah, but it wasn't the answer I was looking for, Sandra.
No, I know.
But
And we think that, right? Like I would have assumed that
mm,
I wouldn't hold myself back out of fear of someone else judging me.
yeah, and I have noticed that too.
Okay, well that's
But
good.
I
So it's
found the
the
source of the
combo.
judgment, and it's me.
Yeah, internal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my work then is to stop it. And but what I have noticed is that I've become more of I want to understand them.
Oh, yeah,
Like when
yeah,
I see something that takes me to that judgment place
yeah.
to understand. When you understand who someone is,
Mhm.
everything else makes sense.
Well, yeah. And sometimes people are like, do you ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, a lot of people could judge Sheldon
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because he's peculiar, but he is, he's got his own quirks, but he's brilliant, he's funny. Like I
Mhm.
love watching him.
Oh yeah.
But you could see him being very rigid and causing problems for someone, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like and he is judged by people on that show. If we get to a place of like just trying to understand someone else,
Mhm.
it's what a powerful place to be in,
Oh, well, because
really.
then you connect in a different way
Yeah.
and you know
And you
them.
could
And it's just like knowing someone's backstory.
Yeah, and it's you neutralize any unwanted emotion
Yeah.
too.
Because that is who they are.
Yeah.
I met a lady on Friday, and she was an interesting one. Really timid, wouldn't make eye contact, didn't talk. She's kind of new to the group and didn't really talk to people that she didn't know. So she didn't really speak to me. But I was just watching her, trying to figure out who she was. Her mother walks up to the table that we're working at. And as soon as her mother walks up, my first thought was, oh, they kind of look alike. And then she introduces her as her mother. And I was like, patterns of behavior.
Mm.
She watched her mother because they were spitting images of each other. And it was one of those moments that it was like, oh, I get her now. That's just how
Oh.
she grew up. That's what she was taught.
Mhm.
But when you get past the newness and she gets comfortable, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
She just doesn't know me.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. It is a much better way to connect.
I have had conversations with almost every single one of my clients, to be honest.
Mhm,
And my response is always, is that fact or are you assuming that? Like, what do you know to be true?
mhm.
And then it's, well, I know what she meant. Oh, no, you fucking don't.
Did you ask?
That's assumption.
Mhm.
Communication can solve all of this.
Yeah.
So you get to now go out and you get to talk to that person and say, can we have a chat? What did you mean by that?
Mhm,
Why are you saying these things? Help me to understand why you'd have this position.
mhm.
Can I tell you how I felt when you said those things?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, can't do that. It's interesting that we would rather choose to feel a victim,
Mhm.
to be upset,
And then tell
to
everybody about it.
assume the worst,
Mhm.
to gossip about it, tell everyone about it, instead of just go to the source and stop it all.
Yeah. Because it is that easy.
It is
I mean, the
that easy.
conversation might not be easy leading into it,
Right.
but at least you get it resolved and you have a different understanding.
Yeah.
And there are some people that you might go to and it doesn't get resolved, but that's resolution in itself. Like I had
Yes.
a client that has been going through some stuff, and her friend, this one friend in particular, was mad because she felt left out. And so she went to her and was just trying, it's a 20 something year old friendship,
Mhm.
trying to clear the air to understand kind of where she was at and to share, well, this is what I'm feeling about this. And she
Mhm.
thought either it will heal us or the relationship will be over. And either
Yeah.
one is fine. But
Exactly.
and it ended not well.
Oh.
So yeah, the friend could not see her side and felt like she was right.
Mhm.
And she's like, if that's how you want to look at it,
Yeah.
I can't change your mind. And she's not trying to, but
Yeah.
she feels better, even
Well,
though
because you
she's,
know,
yeah,
you're not guessing, right? Like
making up
I
stories.
I was talking to one of my clients, her daughter is struggling. She's, of
Mhm,
course, taking on her daughter's emotions or what she
mhm,
assumes her daughter is feeling. This daughter was sort of talking to a guy who seemed like it was all in, and then all of a sudden, all out like that. And so she feels awful. The daughter doesn't understand why she's not enough. And I'm sitting here saying, well, did she ask? Did she just ask?
yeah.
What changed? Like, you can walk away perfectly fine at that point, going, oh, okay, wait a minute. You're not all in now, or you're saying, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship. Okay, see ya.
Mhm,
But she is hurt and like not understanding why. I would just go and ask.
yeah. You want to know.
Because the amount of pain, I would rather deal the pain of knowing the truth than the pain of questioning. It could be way, way better than you think. Like it could be way worse what we are thinking than
Yeah.
is the actual truth. It might just have been, I'm going to move to South Africa. I like,
Yeah.
you don't know what it could be, but
Mhm.
I would rather deal with what I know than run from what could be.
Right. Well,
And
and if she's telling the story of I'm not enough, then she has that belief about herself that
yeah,
she's not enough, and then she's going to carry that into
exactly.
the next relationship.
Next relationship.
What do
Mhm.
I have to be enough? What do
Right.
I have to do so he won't leave? And then
Yeah.
you're in a big old pile of shit.
Yes. Exactly.
Because
But
the things you
communication, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
even for my friend, I mean, my friend is saying, um, like, I know she feels this. Like, and so I, being the ex parole officer, did she say that to you or are you assuming that? What exactly did she say to you? What were the words that she said? Like, I'm
Yeah.
interrogating, right? But this is the only thing I know. Like,
Yeah.
I am a details person like that. Like, I want to know the intonation. I want to know how it was said. I want to know exactly what the words were, not just did you fucking guess?
Yeah.
You don't know how she feels.
She
And
knows
she,
how she felt when it happened to her.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, exactly. This happened too. This was super interesting because I was having a conversation with a friend. My friend is LDS, like Latter-day Saints.
Mhm.
And she showed me this picture of this new temple or a video of this new temple that they had just erected.
Mhm.
And so it's beautiful. I mean, beautiful in the inside. And there was 12 oxen holding up like a fountain.
Okay.
And I assumed that there was a reason there was oxen holding up this fountain, but I am not, it's not like I know, I'm not LDS. And
Right.
also, I never went to church. So it could be something I just asked the question,
Yeah.
what are the oxen for? So she tells me the oxen story. I probably was not paying attention at all, like to what I was saying, right? I was listening and I
Uh-huh.
could, she kind of went into the scripture and like, okay, so I'm not going to remember this. But, I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. And she must have said something, I don't know. And it was by text. And I said, oh, weird. No, I probably meant, oh, wow. Or maybe she said something else and I responded, oh, weird too.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the oxen were weird. I actually thought I like the symbolism.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we're feng shui chicks.
Right.
We like
And
symbolism.
everything has meaning.
Everything has meaning. So the
Mhm.
fact that these oxen were there holding up this fountain, I just thought, hey, cool.
Yeah.
But I said, oh, weird. Now, for a week, she wondered, am I safe to talk about my religion with this person? Because why would she think it's weird? The
Yeah.
oxen are so important to us. So they're in every single temple. And I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, weird. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know what I was responding to. I wish I could go back to that conversation. So she asked me about it. And I said, oh gosh, I thought it was cool. I like symbolism. I don't know why I said weird. I wish I could go back and see exactly what you said in that message.
Yeah.
Something must have triggered me, or my semantic dyslexia kicked in. And instead of wow, I said weird, or I mean, I
Yeah.
can say opposite things or I can say similar things with the same letter or whatever. And instantly, she just immediately relaxed. And she said, I was so scared to have this conversation. And I'm so happy that we did.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I really got to pick it up with what I'm saying, like paying more attention because she's a very much a details person, like words and
Yeah.
numbers and things like
Mhm.
that. Less or so for me. I'm more about the feeling and about specifics on, did you say this? Did you not? What were the exact words? But when
Right.
I'm responding, I'm like half paying attention, probably, right? And I just think,
Mhm.
wow, thank gosh that she had that conversation. She had the courage to come to me and
Yeah.
ask me,
Yeah.
because it totally didn't fucking mean anything that she was worried that I was meaning by that.
Right. And she could have said, well, Sandra's not safe. I'm done.
Yes. And that's what she was thinking. Am
Mhm.
I safe here? Am I
Yeah.
safe? Maybe I shouldn't talk about my religion. Maybe I should, maybe, she said, I wanted to keep the friendship, but I didn't want to have a place where I didn't feel safe. Like, my goodness.
Yeah.
And it was just a total, like, I don't even know why I said that word or what it was in response to, and it could have been in response to something else.
Mm.
But again, communication.
Yeah. You remember times in your life where people, especially being little, where people say things that you take, not you, but we, people in
Yeah.
general, take so to heart and take
Mhm.
as truth and real. And sometimes it's just like that.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
off the cuff remark. They have no idea they've said anything.
Yeah.
And then we walk around for 30 years carrying it
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
truth.
And wondering, what did she mean by that? And maybe
Yeah.
she meant that, and she must have meant that. And
Yeah.
someone said, "Oh, weird" to me before, and that was not good.
I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Heard
I'm
that
like,
before.
and I'm in oblivion, not having a clue, thinking, huh.
Mhm.
And honestly, one of the conversations that I had was with Cam, and I said, okay, so this seems to be like not an LDS, it's not Book of Mormon. This is like in the Bible. So why, like, why would there only be oxen in the LDS churches, the LDS temples? Like,
Mhm.
why wouldn't anyone else have the 12? But I suppose, 12 apostles, the 12. So I guess the 12 is represented in some places, but like, that was the question that I had to Cam. And so maybe
Mhm.
I was thinking, oh, weird. Why do we not have oxen in our
Yeah. Yeah.
churches? And but yeah, it was an interesting conversation. I was so thankful
Mhm.
that she raised it, because we had such an in-depth conversation about so much, just stemming from that one question.
Mhm.
I mean, we were
Mm.
talking about random comments that I may have made or she may have made before, and how we thought they meant something and then realized that they didn't.
Yeah.
And it was just such a moment to connect in a different way,
Yeah. That is
like
awesome.
a deeper way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all are closer now because of that conversation.
absolutely. And how sad that we shy away from them.
Oh, yeah. Lily was in middle school. She was in theater. One of my very best friends, who was one of Lily's very best friends, her the mother, she hated the theater teacher. I don't know what her beef was with her. I don't remember, but she could not stand her, and I adore her.
Mm.
But we just didn't really talk about theater because don't want to listen to anything bad about the teacher. I love her.
Yeah.
And we had gone to New York for a week during the summer with the whole theater department. When we get back, we're going to a football game and we're walking in, and she goes, so going to New York so you can suck up to the teacher so Lily can get a good part. And my heart dropped because I loved this woman. She was one of my very best friends.
Mhm.
And I felt like I'd been assaulted.
Yeah.
And I was angry with her for a while. And it didn't end our friendship, but it changed it. because
Yeah.
she was no longer safe.
Right.
And I wanted to talk to her, but I thought if I talk to her, the friendship will end.
Mhm.
And I don't know that. It might have done the same thing it did with you and your friend. But I
Yeah.
was so fearful of, well, she's not going to like me if I complain, so I'm just not going to complain, which has been sort of my MO because,
Yeah.
I don't want them to leave.
Yeah.
And looking back, it should have been addressed because it would have been a chance to heal and it would have been
Mhm.
a chance for understanding. And it could have been that she was just so angry with that woman that she was spitting stuff out and didn't even realize
Yeah.
what she was saying to me. But we do that stuff and relationships change because we
Yeah.
don't have the hard conversations.
And sometimes relationships change because there is a very deep difference of opinion,
Mhm.
and that's also okay.
Yeah.
But assuming that it's there and not really knowing or not understanding,
Mhm.
like, it's really difficult to understand from someone else's perspective if we don't ask what it is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everything is just guesses. It's just guesses. And
Making
especially
shit
I
up.
find that sometimes it just ruminates in our mind over and over and over again. Well,
Mhm.
maybe she meant this and maybe she meant that. And why did she say weird? And she must not like my religion. And worse, Lee is going to suck up to her because I saw Lee drop off a box of chocolates one day. Like, here you go. You forgot your chocolates. Could be something so much different when you don't know the backstory. And I don't know. I think I used to be so fearful of confrontation. I used to be fearful of when I turned 19 in
Mhm.
Saskatchewan, that was drinking age. I started working in a brew pub. Or actually my first job was like a little tiny lounge. And I was terrified to walk up to the table. Terrified.
Mhm.
All I have to do was ask, "Hey, how's it going? What can I get for you?" Like that's it, right? But I was very shy.
Yeah.
And then working in the prison, it became, wow, you're not just asking what they're drinking. Now you're asking some really deep conversations. Like you're looking at their police reports and asking them some really deep questions.
Yeah.
And you are having to be okay with confrontation, having to be okay with those difficult conversations. And now I'm sitting here going, I would just so much rather have that.
Well, that's easier.
Yeah. But once we kind of get over it, once we kind of have those conversations a few times, it gets easier. And it's the same with speaking to a friend
Mhm.
because we didn't die,
Yes. 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 Yes.
right? Like, oh, once you do it a few times, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this had a good outcome.
Yeah. I
I've
know how to
changed
do
my
this.
belief. I've
Yep.
changed my belief of what a difficult conversation could mean.
Mhm. Yep.
And it could mean peace.
Yeah.
And we should all
Sure.
want it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And on that note, we're
We're at
at
a time.
we're out of time.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I just yapped on, but
Goes so
good.
fast. Thank you, Sandra. This was good.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.